Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Ashley Hydrick, your Southern Lesbian. How the heck were your holidays? Did y'all get through them okay? Was it fun? Mine were pretty good. Mine were better than I expected them to be honest. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that I wasn't sure if I was going to get to go home, and I did last minute, and it was so nice. It was actually so nice to go home and be with everybody and get family hugs, because I don't see them that often. I'm gone a fair amount, and it was really nice to see everybody. I hope your holidays were lovely. I hope that they were kind to you. I hope Santa brought you everything you wanted. How many of y'all got coal in your stocking? I hope that your new year is starting off great. Y'all know there's a lot of pressure at the start of the new year to start off with guns a-blazing and dive into your projects and set all the resolutions, do all this, these big grandiose things, work out, get right back in and stick to your workout every day and do all the things. So y'all know, I've been seeing so many things online with these spiritual practitioners and whatnot that I follow. It's like our Gregorian calendar does not follow the actual New Year as it were back in olden times and Chinese New Year. And we are still in the midst of winter, hibernation, sleeping, resting, gathering our thoughts. So if you're in that space of feeling like, Ashley, I don't know what I want my resolutions to be this year. I don't know how I feel about certain things I want to let go of or want to bring into my world this year. I'm not clear yet. That's okay. I'm here to tell y'all, the world is still a little bit confusing. Things energetically are still a little bit confusing. That's okay. You know what? We have a minute. So actual spring, April, is really the start of the new year. So just, y'all give yourselves a break. Just take the pressure off a little bit. Because I say this to y'all because I've been feeling this and I'm like, what is going on? Used to be years ago, I would sit in the bathtub every New Year's Eve. Well, maybe not New Year's Eve because I was usually out partying, but maybe New Year's Day morning, I would sit in the bathtub, light candles, and with a notebook and write out what I wanted my resolutions to be for that year. And I love that practice, and I still would love to do that practice. But this year, I was not feeling it, y'all. I was not feeling it. I was like, what the F? I think where I am right now and what I'm trying to recognize is just what I was saying to y'all. I feel like in order to welcome in the big and the new, we have to recognize things that we're willing to let go of, things that, even in your house, it's like you got stuck energy around. You got old clothes you need to get rid of because you want new ones. Do that. If you've got habits, ways of thinking, I'm not telling y'all to kick out your husband or your wife or whoever. I'm saying if you've got old thought patterns that aren't serving you anymore, this is the time to recognize that. And I'm doing this work as well, y'all, and it is not easy. It is not easy because the triggers have come up. Oh, yes, they have, yet again. And it's a time of reflection. Again, we're still in that hibernation mode. We're reflecting. We're giving ourselves the space and a minute to really, let's really move forward in a way this year for sweeping change with the ways that we embrace life, with the way we embrace the things that we love, our work, our passions, our relationships, all of it. Let's just grab them by the balls, I want gusto this year. I want a big year. I want it to be fun and amazing and chock full of good stuff. I already know, because I know what's coming down the pipe, there's going to be some things to go through that aren't going to be fun, that aren't going to be easy. But I want to look at those as just little minor bumps in the road, and then I want to keep my focus on what's way down there, what's way ahead of me, the bigger picture, the things that we're working hard towards. So that brings me to today's topic, which is, does what I do equal what I'm worth? Y'all. Okay, so this is one that I learned, I heard several years ago. I like to think that I learned several years ago, but I'll admit, there's still days where I'm like, I don't know, it's hard. So I want to talk to those of you who are doing a job that maybe is not something that you're entirely in love with, and you're feeling tied to it, and you're feeling like you're in those golden handcuffs. So you're getting a great paycheck, it's allowing you to live, but you're miserable. Because I was in that for a long time. And I finally did something about it and broke free. And I'm going to tell you, it ain't easy, But the freedom that I feel is worth it. When I say this, I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback. I can hear it already from people that are like, well, I'm really proud of what I do. I make a great living and I'm proud of that. And I support myself well. And I'm saying if it works for you, it works for you. I think that that's what this life is for. I think that we come here to create, right? I think that's what life is all about. We are here to live our best lives and have those dreams that we strive for. And if that's what you're doing and you're working hard and you're successful, this isn't for you. If you're passionate about what you're doing, this is not for you. I'm talking about those people who are feeling a bit stuck. Like I said, the golden handcuffs. So I want to start this, if this will make a little bit more sense, with a quote from Michael Bernard Beckwith, again from Agape International Spiritual Center. I love this man. So his quote, our quote for this week is, "It's not what's coming into your life. It's not what is to come. It is what you must become. It is what you must become." Oof. So what you must become. And how do we, to me, I'm just going to interpret this the way I hear it. To me, that means releasing control. Yet again, it's always about releasing control. Isn't it always about releasing control? Relaxing and flowing, trusting that the universe has your back in these moments, right? Whether this be in a relationship with someone, this could be about your partnership. I'm sort of speaking more from a place today of what we do. Some people do define themselves by their relationship. I am the wife of that girl there, that man there. We have to be careful about that, right? A lot of people equate their worth to their jobs. I did that for years, so I'm raising my hand and saying, all the stuff that I had from it, the Range Rover especially, I was very proud to drive around in that car and let people know that I was successful. Well, the universe had plans for me. Took that car away from me. That car stayed in the shop so much, it was unreal. And one day, the engine just exploded for no reason, didn't even have 50,000 miles on it, and I fought that company for 1.5 years to get it back. Well, my attorney friend, very dear friend, thank you, Bridget, fought them for me. It was a very interesting lesson, and I knew exactly what was happening. I knew that, the universe was going, do you think this is what your worth is? Is this how you're equating success? I'm going to show you that that's not it at all. I'm going to show you that you need to learn how to accept that people love you for who you are and the relationship that you bring to them, not just the fact that you have these things that you can give to them financially, that you can do for them financially, that you can take them for rides in your fancy car, whatever it was, y'all. So this involves releasing old patterns of thought, right? Around things like, people will judge me if I don't have these things or don't show this level of success, don't wear these brands, right? That's another one. Don't drive this type of car. Well, they might, Brimhilda. And I'm here to tell you, you can't worry about it. Like, we really can't worry about it. It's hard. It's really hard. And, the next car that I ended up getting was, to me, a little bit more of a modest step back, but it's still a nice car. Like, I don't want to drive around in a junker because I think people will judge me. But I think to me, it's more now about, here's where the mind shift happens. I'm not saying that you can't have a Range Rover if you want it. Here's what I'm trying to say, y'all. I'm sorry. I apologize. I think it's the associating that with your identity as to where we get hung up sometimes and where we can get into a very tricky, slippery mindset slope of other things in our life that we don't even realize we're attracting in, and patterns that we're developing of associating who we are, what we're worth with that type of stuff, right? So if you have a Range Rover or any beautiful car because you just love driving that car and you think it is so fun to drive and you're constantly driving going, God, I'm so grateful for this car. This is so fun. I really love my life. This is great. How fun is this? I love its beautiful interior. I love that I can have a reliable car that I can pick up my friends in and take out and do all the things. Well, that's a different mindset, isn't it? From, I'm showing up to pick her up in a Range Rover today. That's the difference I'm trying to make. Do y'all get that? So the car was finally returned to me, but it was after I had made that shift in my brain, and I was well aware that's why the car came back to me. Back to releasing old patterns that keep us stuck. So not just that people will judge me. Maybe there's something in work that you want to do. Look at me, y'all. I'm a freaking podcaster now and a writer. I still am writing. And I will admit that sometimes I'd rather tell people that I'm a writer, even though I hadn't sold anything yet. Knock on wood. It still, to me, sounds a little sexier. Podcasting sounds to me like, well, what does that bring you, Ashley? Where's that going to get you in life, Ashley? I don't know. The point is, I have to learn to relax and flow and trust because I'm feeling called to this, y'all. If I'm feeling called to this strongly, and the writing, like I feel called to both of them, then I have to follow that. I have to trust that. And yes, there are days where I worry that people will judge me for that. And maybe they do judge me for that. I'm sure they do. Why wouldn't they? This is life, right? I just have to stop worrying about it. You know, the other thing I had to get over when I started doing this and when I had to start putting my stuff on TikTok and just trying different things. This is what we as entrepreneurs do, right? We try and we have to be able to give ourselves permission to fail. Because failing, to me, all right, fail is such an interesting word because I don't look at failure the same way I think a lot of people do. I look at failing as a step forward. It's like you cannot, as an entrepreneur, jump into something without giving yourself that permission to try, to look a little ridiculous, to try things that haven't been done before, to worry about what your peers are going to say. Like, you have to give yourself permission to do those things. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But then you've learned something. You've learned what doesn't work for you. But what if you didn't try that thing? What if you moved forward in your life and then 2 years down the road, you went, I could have tried that. And where would I be now if I had the courage to do that and step forward and take that leap of faith and trust that the universe has my back? So I jumped into entrepreneurialism, well, really a long time ago when I went into real estate. That doesn't matter. That's another lifetime ago. But really, most recently, about 10 years ago, when I left my comfy, big-paying job and set out to open my own companies and do and try. Each thing that I've done, I have learned so much about the industry. I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about the things that I can take on my own and that things that I can make judgment calls on my own. I wouldn't change a thing about that. Like, where I stand now, even though I'm looking at the future and I'm going, I don't know how this is going to end up. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know where I'm headed every day. I don't think I'm supposed to know yet. And I'm okay with that. But are you okay with that? Admittedly, I have a little bit of a high risk for tolerance. I have for quite some time, but not so high that I'm going to end up, in a ditch somewhere. But I'm just saying, I'm willing to bet on myself and that the universe has my back. And that is not an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of courage, for sure. It takes a lot of keeping your mindset positive, right? Like daily affirmations. Every day, y'all, I write on my phone. Every day, I'll put new affirmations in there just to keep my mind in a good space so that they pop up. And sometimes I'll set them for 30 days if I think I need to hear this particular affirmation for 30 days. So it comes up every morning. It's the first thing I see when I wake up. And sometimes I've got 10 at a time on there because that's where we are. I've been doing this for years, but it's my way of helping myself, stay strong. So the other thing that will keep us stuck sometimes in not pursuing our dreams, in keeping us in those golden handcuffs, if you will, is just the feeling that you can't do it because somebody else is already doing it. Somebody else is already doing it better than you. Well, Broomhilda, again, I say, yeah, that's going to be the case. Because anything that you're starting fresh on, and you are going to make some mistakes, and you got to give yourself permission to do that. This ties in hand really with perfectionism. I was really nervous to put stuff out here on YouTube, not just this podcast, but the last one I did, especially because that was my first one being on camera. I was terrified, y'all. I came from a world of production where everything has to be perfect, and granted, it's going out on the air, so everything is checked back 100 times, and people are paying a lot of money for that. That's fine. Well, y'all, this is a podcast. You're listening to me. I don't even have anything behind me right now. I'm going to change that, by the way. But can you imagine if I had waited until 2 weeks from now, or whenever I get the chance to paint and put pretty things behind, and I hadn't started this in April or whenever, talking to y'all from a kitchen. I mean, I feel like there's been a lot of beautiful interaction here, and already there's a little bit of a sense of community building here, which is the goal. That is the beauty of this. And God bless y'all. Thank you for forgiving me that the audio sometimes is not up to par, that the lighting sometimes is not up to par, that the thumbnails that you click on to get to me sometimes are what they are. I very much appreciate y'all. I thank you for being here, because that's the goal, right? I want to hear your feedback. I want to know if y'all are in the same place that I'm in. This is how we start community. This is how we get this going. And on that point too, I'm hoping to be able to do some lives soon too. Like I'm going to start learning, y'all. I'm still learning. But as I'm getting settled into this place and I can set things up a little bit differently, I'm going to start doing some lives with y'all so that we can interact differently, because I want to hear from y'all and I want to be able to respond to you in real time. So that's coming. Back to perfectionism for just a second. There might be a place where perfectionism has its place, right? I mean, obviously, there has to be a moment where you put the pencil down on anything, on anything. And it took me a long time to learn that. And I've certainly in my field, in my background, worked with artists who, were perfectionists, and they were paid a lot of money to do that. I think where we have to draw the line is where it carries over in other areas of our life, because you don't want to bring that energy home to your partner. I did for a while, and every little thing had to be perfect. And I still work on that. I really still work on that, letting that go. That's something that I need to put on my list in 2025. I want to continue to let go of those things because they don't matter. They don't matter at the end of the day. I just want to be loving and kind and have fun and get my points across, but not drill in, not nitpick on little things that don't matter. And in that business where we were paid to be perfect, here's the funny thing about that took me a while too to recognize. So I worked for companies that were great, no doubt, they were really awesome, but were we the number one in our field? Were we the most perfect in our field at what we did? Nope, not by a long shot. That is not why people came to us, and I used to struggle with this. Like in the early days of me doing sales, I used to try and go compete with those big dogs and get in there and try to get that business. And I realized sometimes that business wasn't going to come to us, and it would frustrate me, and I would get angry, and I would think, well, we need better artists in here. I need to get somebody that can do that. No. Because you know why people came to us, and what was so beautiful about it? Not that they didn't like the level of work, because they did, and the work of the artist was beautiful and perfect in my eyes. But they came for the relationship. They came for the relationship with the artist, who they felt like when they were speaking their piece on what they wanted to see come to life, the artist heard them, understood them, collaborated with them, made them feel part of the process. They came to me sometimes just for my relationship because I took really good care of them. If they were in the shop that night, I was in the shop until the end of that and then back the next morning. And sometimes it was overnight. I would take people out and dine them, thank them for their business earnestly and become friends with them because I genuinely enjoyed meeting these people. I thought they were so fun and I loved getting to know these people in this business. So when it's genuine, when you really do enjoy what you do and you're passionate about meeting people and the relationship, that's why they come back to you. So, if you take your skill sets and you're curious about doing that in something that lights you up differently, I'm just saying, have a little faith, because if you have those relationships, they do follow you. They do follow you. And when they do, it's just like, oh my God, is it the most rewarding thing you will feel in this world. It is so beautiful to have that sense of safety and loyalty. It's a really beautiful thing, y'all. No doubt, y'all. I have obviously felt this fear around doing podcasts. I certainly felt it around doing this one because I feel like I'm probably being a little bit more vulnerable on this podcast than I've ever been. And I'm inviting you guys to do the same. You guys are sharing beautifully in the comments. It's beautiful, but I want us to feel safe. I want us to feel protected. I'm careful about who watches, who comes in and starts to follow. And some people I do mute. I do. I just mute them because I can look at them when they come in and I can see, well, you don't quite fit the demographic here and I'm not sure what you're up to. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But the point is that I was trying to make is it's about the things that we discuss here, and it's about the relationship that we're building. You guys with me, you guys hopefully with each other. That's the big thing that I would love to see happen is you guys start building with each other, and that's why I think the lives are important. It's not about the little details of sometimes the audio's crap or sometimes there's not something behind me pretty for y'all to look at or the lighting or whatever, and I actually wonder if that's why they say the phrase, the devil is in the details. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. So again, stop equating your worth with effort because the effort should come if you're passionate. People will come to you because of your passion for being good to them, your passion for caring for them in whatever you do. You could be serving fast food, but if you're passionate about making your customers happy, guess what? They're going to enjoy coming there. Like, don't y'all notice when you go to get coffee in the morning, you probably prefer a shop, well, not only that has good coffee, but if it's first thing in the morning, like I've lived alone in certain cities where that was my human interaction for the day. So I would choose coffee shops where people were super friendly and wanted to talk to me for a minute because it kind of pulled me out of my shell and got me going and got my day started in a way that just felt good. They were passionate about what they did. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're passionate about it, people will gravitate to you. You will develop that synergy, that relationship, that energy. They will appreciate you. You appreciate them. Even if you don't interact directly with people, even if you're sitting, I used to sit in a room with just equipment all day and work on audio, but I loved it and I was passionate about it. And I think it showed in the work that I did. Maybe you box and ship things for Amazon. I don't know what you do, but if you enjoy it because it allows you to do something else, then that's good. Then you can't complain about that. So you're in a job that fulfills you. If you're in a job that doesn't fulfill you, I just want you to take these things to heart and give it a think. Now's a great time to let something go that isn't working for you and focus on something ahead. Let's say in the next month or so that you can start working on. Maybe you can start working on it now behind the scenes. Maybe you can start your little business plan now behind the scenes while you're still making an income. Something to think about. So do you know what you're passionate about? That's the next thing I want to ask you guys. Like, this may require you to do, I highly recommend handwritten journaling. I do it on my laptop a lot, but there's something about that handwritten flow that just lands differently sometimes. Just stream of consciousness writing. Just if you don't know what to say on your page, I don't know what to say on this page. And then go to the next thought. I would really like to know what I'm passionate about, Broomhilda. Say that and write Broomhilda and let me know if she answers. No, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Just let it flow. I'm really afraid of. I want to do XYZ, or I'm really passionate about, or I would love to, blah, 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 but I'm scared and here's why. Then start to try to talk yourself down from that. What if so-and-so judges me? How am I going to feel about that? And what is the worst that could happen from that? And does it really matter that that person judges me? Maybe. So you know what? You can also keep things to yourself for a while. You don't have to tell the world what you're doing. And I highly recommend that you don't, actually. I have found that in starting new businesses, starting any new projects, I don't like to discuss them with people, even people really close to me. You know why? Because it's just like they say, everybody's got an asshole and an opinion. And I'm just saying, sometimes people from the most beautiful place in their heart want to help, but they want to give you your opinion. And if it's your project and it's supposed to come through your lens, your filter, then let it be that. Let it be that. And stop worrying what everybody else thinks because it doesn't matter. That is not why it's your project. So in order to really fully own it and let it be your project, just take it all in, take responsibility for it, own it, see what comes out. And if it's not going to work, forgive yourself. You learned something. You probably learned a lot in that process. But what if it doesn't fail? What if even one person says to you, oh my God, that is really cool and you gave me something to think about, or I love that painting you did and I want it on my wall, or I love this book that you've written, or especially if you're an artist. God, please, especially if you're an artist, the world needs your art right now. Do not be afraid to let your talents shine. Do not be afraid to, even if you want to stick to the job that you've got because that makes you feel safe and that makes that's important to you. If there's something artistically that you're like, I've got this idea for this thing and I feel like I should birth it into the world, but what if? Stop with the what ifs. Stop it. The world needs your art right now, because I guarantee if you're feeling a certain way about a certain thing, or if you're feeling that this is what I'm feeling, y'all, that inner knowing that something needs to be birthed into the world, somebody's going to resonate with it. They will, I promise. So think about things like, what lights you up? What things do you enjoy? What are your hobbies? Could your hobby be something that earns you money down the road? Or could it just be something that you work into your regular schedule because it lights you up so much? And it's so important for us to have passions these days. It's so important to have things that make you happy and bring you joy. Doing this with you guys, believe it or not, brings me joy. I really enjoy it. I really love hearing your feedback. Please tell me below your thoughts always. I want to know. So it shouldn't be something that you feel like you have to force. So if that's what you're feeling and it's not lining up, then don't do it. I'm not talking about fear. You got to feel the fear and do it anyway. We've talked about this before. I'm talking about if you have to force something through, then that you shouldn't have to force anything in life. I'm realizing like things should flow, right? They should flow. So don't worry about, is this going to be successful or not? Like if I worried about that, y'all, I'm not sure I would be doing this. I mean, really, you can't judge, you can't gauge. And what is success to y'all? Like define that for yourself maybe first, Is success that you have to make a lot of money on whatever you're doing? Well, that's a lot of pressure. Is successful that you get to do something you love and it resonates with a lot of people? Yeah, well, it is for me. I mean, I hope, I pray, I want to make good money from doing the things that I love and that I'm passionate about and that are my hobbies, and just doing things that allow me to be myself, quite frankly. That to me is success. That to me feels like freedom. And when you use those bigger picture words around what it is that you're trying to accomplish for yourself, like freedom, you want to feel free, what does that look like to you? And is that success to you? To me, that's success. Freedom is success, quite frankly. Financial freedom. So yeah, I want to make a lot of money because I want to feel financial freedom. Freedom in the sense that I don't want somebody over me telling me what I have to create or produce or do with my days. Let's say that you get brave enough and you start something. And let's say that I want you to go ahead and picture this in your mind in case if that doesn't work and if it doesn't lead to whatever thing that you thought it would, well, I want you to, at the end of that tenure, look back. Did you meet an amazing person that things may lead to something different down the road? Did you learn a new skill set that can lead you to your next phase of life? Like that's the whole point of this. And this is what I want y'all to understand about taking these leaps of faith, being entrepreneurial in this sense, right? It's all about learning and growing and evolving to be the next level of yourself, the next level of yourself, the next level of yourself. So if you'll allow yourself permission to do that, I think it's a really, it's a beautiful thing. It lights you up in a way that nobody else can. Nobody's given me permission to do this. Y'all are here, thank God, so I keep doing it. But if nobody was listening, I would probably stop. But nobody has to give me permission to do this. And that feels so good. I don't have to ask anybody about what I'm talking about today. I just get to do it. That feels great to me. And you can do the same on your YouTube channel, in your book, in the song you're going to write, in the piece of art you're going to do, in the whatever it is. Y'all get my point. Okay, so how do we do this? The point of all this is that your life should feel like it's for you, that it's not working against you. So to that point, we have to learn how to flow and trust with things that are coming at us, right? Because the world is chaos right now. So how do we bob and weave and work with what the universe is handing us? And how do we know? How do we know, right? So we talked about the first stage already. Focus on what you're passionate about and just keep that bigger picture in mind and keep that focus and keep that vision and keep that vision. And things are going to come at you and you're going to be able to feel, well, this thing that's coming at me over here, and maybe they're asking me to do something different that might give me a little money for a second, but is it going to take up so much of my time that it pulls me away from this? you have a decision to make, right? But keep that vision, and you've got to just start to make those judgment calls of, this is going to keep me away too long, I can't take that on, or this could be good because it gives me a little bit of money to support this bigger picture dream that I'm doing. Those types of things, right? You'll know. All right, so the second thing, triggers. When triggers come up in this process and maybe someone says something about what you're doing and it doesn't land the right way, I have learned the very painful, hard way I'm going to share with y'all that triggers are opportunities for growth by us, not them, by us. That's the sucky part. So when those things happen, I want you to stop and take a deep breath. I have to remind myself this every day. By the way, it takes longer than a deep breath for me. Sometimes it takes 24 hours for me to take that deep breath, to sit with what just happened, to go, all right, how do I really feel about this? Does what this person's saying really matter? Is it really going to affect me at the end of the day? Do I need to worry about it? Probably not. I'm going to say 99.9% of the time, somebody else's opinion doesn't matter. I don't care if it's your spouse, y'all. That person should have zero say on something that you're doing, as long as it's not hurting them. But triggers really should be an opportunity for us to learn to sit with this feeling for a minute and say, I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway. That doesn't matter to me. That opinion is only seen through that person's lens because of what that person has been through. It has nothing to do with me. You really have to get to a place where you can own that, and that's not easy, but you can do it. If I did it, anybody can do it. Number 3, open doors versus closed doors. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? But you got to learn to read those signs and listen to them and follow them. So open doors obviously are opportunities that come your way. Open doors are real easy to recognize, I think. I'm trying to think of a situation where an open door might not be such an easy opportunity to recognize. But I think that the open doors don't come until we close the ones that aren't meant for us. This is something I've learned, y'all. It is not easy. As we move through this life, I think that it's equally, if not more important, that we learn to say no to things that don't work, that don't serve us. So as things are coming your way, opportunities, projects, people maybe even, that don't make sense, that aren't for you, that aren't supportive, that aren't going to be aligned with this greater vision that you have, it's so important that we say no to these things, right? Because if this is where we're really headed, if this is our true north, if this is a passion that you feel from the depths of your soul, I'm talking to you. And this is something that we have to learn to work with. So when I say that no, I don't mean cut everybody out your life. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, back to the triggers. Sometimes, every time, people are going to be different from us. People are going to have different opinions for us. Like I said, everybody's got opinion and asshole, right? So if they have a different opinion from you, that does not instantly mean that you got to shun them and throw them off, off the side of the cliff. That means that you have to be okay with them having that opinion and putting them psychologically over there in that little container, Protect your peace, protect yourself. Start saying a mantra that, protects you. Make one up for yourself. Look online. There's hundreds. I can give y'all some if you want. It's things like, if a project comes up for you that maybe is a lot of money, maybe it's going to keep you occupied for a year, and maybe in your heart that that's too long and that that's not going to work for you for where you need to get. Well, it's those types of things that are hard to say no to. Hard. But you have to be clear on where you're going, and you have to trust, that these open doors, closed doors, triggers, all these things are ways of the universe supporting you, guiding you, redirecting you on your path so that you can get to the relationship you want. And it might be with the person you're with right now, but you just have to learn to recognize, I got to let go of these old ways of thought so that I can appreciate what's right in front of me and allow it to flow differently. It might be that you need to let go of them. I don't know. It might be this with your job, Same mindset applies. Can you learn how to love what you're doing differently? Can you be passionate about it? Have you not given it a chance? Is it your mindset that's holding you back? And maybe you're in a great job and you work with great people, but you get hung up on the little nitpicky things. And every day you're negative about things that you just need to let go and appreciate where you are. Because if you do that, if you start walking into, let's say you're a teacher and you walk into that classroom every day, oh my God, I'm so grateful for these kids. They're so wonderful to me. And I love that they love me so much. And it's so cool that I get my summers off. And it's so cool that, I'm just using that as an example, y'all, but I'm saying if you get hung up on a lot of the little things, that you have control over your thoughts. Only you. That's what I'm saying. Do you ruminate, get hung up in here where you need to learn how to let go of these things, open yourself up differently. New year, right? Coming. I don't think we've started it yet, but this is the time for you to be sitting in that, thinking about it, letting things bounce around your brain, resonate. What's working for me? What doesn't work for me? How do I stay the course? What do I need to do? Who's on my team? How do I get there? I think I've said enough. I appreciate y'all. Sometimes I feel like I'm beating you up. I hope not. I'm only sharing things with you that I've learned and I'm trying to still maybe process. So I hope that this resonates with you. And again, please let me know below. Comment below. Share. Tell me what's going on in your world. And look out for those lives. I will be starting to put little maybe shorts or something up saying, hey, we're going to do a live on this date. You guys, if you're available, that would be amazing. I would love to see you there for those. And I would love for us to do those. I would also love to know what times and days work for everybody. I'm imagining it would have to be on a weekend, probably like a weekend morning for y'all. That would be like 10 or 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Does that work? I don't know where all in the world y'all are. So tell me, some of y'all are global. A lot of y'all are global. We might have to work this around different time zones or do a couple different ones. I don't know. But I just thought it would be a fun idea. So thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, because I love coming and talking to y'all and I love hearing your feedback and I would love for you to be part of this community. I appreciate you guys as always so much and we will see you next week. Have a great week, y'all. Bye.